for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. Folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. With folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine a light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I folded
setting proper motivation. 3 points to keep in mind. Refuge field, Bodhicitta field, and the purpose of this practice. Refuge field, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. In the space in front of us, are so loving, caring, and embracing. And particularly the great masters of the Nalanda, ancient Nalanda University, Takshashila University, Uttanapuri University, and so forth, and Brooklyn-Michelle University. For the Bodhicitta field, visualize your two parents and all your family members, including children, and all other dear mother sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, gods and goddesses, spirits of Switzerland, of the world, of the oceans, of the wilderness, of the Milky Way galaxy, and of the entire universe, living on a side. And the purpose of this practice is to awaken the hidden treasure within us, the Buddha nature. Awaken of which will allow us to experience the fearlessness where all the fears, all the stress, anxiety, and sadness dissolves, and all happiness, the ease expands to infinity and thereto eternally. And for that purpose, given that we all have the Buddha nature, our job is to remove the mental defilements. So the Buddha nature will manifest like the gold when mixed with the mud. Our job is to remove the mud so the gold inside will glow. We don't look for gold outside. And for that matter, we need to resort to a very powerful remedy to cleanse the mind of the mental defilements. And the best of the remedies the Buddha taught is the wisdom of emptiness, which for the last 4 billion years on planet Earth, nobody taught this except for the Buddha Shakyamuni. Only 2,500 years ago, we're extremely meritorious. There was Prince Siddhartha, who discovered this wisdom of emptiness and shared this wisdom with us with great compassion. But this wisdom, to what extent this will remove the mental defilements? Given that mental defilements is of various levels, it's all determined by the motivation. And the best of the motivation is motivation Bodhicitta. Bodhicitta which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. And to feel this Bodhicitta for others, you must feel the renunciation with respect to your own pains, desire to be freed from the self-grasping ignorance, the mastermind for all the miseries, self-grasping ignorance. So with this we have the 3 principal aspects of the path: renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. Keep in mind that whatever virtue that we do, somehow there should be connected with these 3 things, so that your Buddha nature inside will manifest, and gradually the ease will seep in the mind. And then you can share this wisdom with all the dear mother sentient beings. And imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us. And while leading this practice, remember that there are 2 ways of reading the texts, reading the materials. One is where the words flow, but the mind is distracted. Number 2, the words flow, the meaning is reflected. Number 3, the words flow, meaning is reflected, and experiences invoked. Out of the 3, the best is the 3rd, for which we require years of study, contemplation, meditation, and experience. At least we can do the second one. So with this in mind, again, remember that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us. Page 3. And through great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha with Lama, I bear homage. And through great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha with Lama, I bear homage. And through great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all erroneous views. To you, the Buddha with Lama, I bear homage. Sanje Juda Zoge Junam No Chanju Bardo Dani Gyapsu Shi Dage Jinso Kibe Sonamgi Tola Benjira Sanje Dubara Isho Sanje Juda Zoge Junam No Chanju Bardo Dani Gyapsu Shi Dage Jinso Kibe Sonamgi Tola Benjira Sanje Dubara Jo Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyabzu Je Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Tola Benjira Sanje Dubara Jo. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice, forgiving and so forth, I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the concerned Buddha, the supreme among all the teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of all aberrations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the host of the Bodhisattvas and the Buddha's followers, the knower of all which leads the hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, with no paths which causes the Bodhisattvas and altruism to benefit. My greatest to achieve the aims of the world, and omniscience and thought of possession of which helps the Buddha expound a variety of teachings, endowed with the complete aspects of subjects, the one who has transformed it into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism and benefit sentient beings, the teachers who guard and protect her to your prostrations, the one who has eliminated verbal conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound. What chance for the forever noble light rays to you, the Buddha, I make questions. Okay, just for information, this particular verse was said by Acharya Dharmakirti in the text on the Pramana Vartika. And as I said earlier, this author, a great psychologist, philosopher, logician, and enlightened master, who wrote the commentary, Pramana Vartika, particularly chapter 2, to explain the earlier two lines, the one who is transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teachers who can protect her to her frustrations. So, the first line was by Acharya Dignaga. And then it's a commentary, Acharya Dharmakirti wrote the commentary Pramana Vartika. And this verse, the second verse which we read, the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations. This is a very important verse. This was a salutation to the Buddha by Acharya Dignaga. So let me quickly explain what it says. It's very profound, otherwise it's just a verse. Okay. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations, meaning that your Buddha nature, which are otherwise enshrouded by the mental defilements of conceptualizations, including self-grasping ignorance, all the afflictions, they are all removed. And even with the virtues like Bodhicitta and so forth, but like the fire and the gold. So what should we be doing? Is say that this is let's say this is the gold, yet it is burning. If we keep because it is gold, we keep it, we hold it, then it burns your hand. And if you throw it, you're throwing the gold. So what should we be doing? So the wise, likewise, the Bodhicitta that we have, wisdom, emptiness, compassion, so forth, what we have, meaning these similitudes of these qualities, they are like the gold, as in they're burning. There's conceptualization involved. Conceptualization, the gold like Bodhicitta, and the conceptualization, which is like the fire. These two are mixed. So our job is to remove the fire and maintain the Bodhicitta, maintain the wisdom of emptiness. So it says the one who has eliminated the web of conceptualization. So remove the fire and maintaining the Buddha nature. So that is the that state where the fire is removed completely. Where the fire is removed completely, that is when the Buddha nature manifested. So that manifestation, that is the Dharmakaya. So the first line is the Dharmakaya. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualization, Dharmakaya. And because of which this mind, the pure mind, is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and profound, then this mind manifests in the form of Sambhogakaya and Nirmanakaya. The vast refers to the Nirmanakaya, and the profound refers to the Sambhogakaya. So the Buddha's quality of the Dharmakaya and the Rupakaya manifests into two. Which is one is the profound, which is Sambhogakaya, and the vast Nirmanakaya. Then with these being adorned by these three kayas, then the Buddha engages in benefiting, helping the sentient beings. Now, line 3, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays. That is the activities, Buddha's divine activities. So look, the three kayas are mentioned there, and the Buddha's divine activities to benefit the beings is indicated there. So to you, the Buddha make prostrations. So it's very important. The first line is what? Dharmakaya. And the second line is the Rupakaya. Dharmakaya means Chugu in Tibetan. The first one is Chugu. In Tibetan, Tobe Tawa Nam Seljing. This is Chugu. And second one is endowed with the divine bodies and vast and profound. This is the Rupakaya, the form body of the Buddha, Suku. Within Suku, or the Rupakaya, there are two. Nirmanakaya, the Sambhogakaya and the Nirmanakaya. The profound divine bodies of the profound is the Sambhogakaya, divine bodies of the vast, that is the Nirmanakaya. So, why profound? Sambhogakaya, it is one. This is the ultimate. And then Nirmanakaya manifests in different forms, a vast array of manifestations. So with these, finally, what to do to benefit the beings by rendering the rays shine and help to grow the vegetations. So likewise, the divine deeds of the Buddha's activities of Buddha's Bodhisattvas, they benefit the beings. So that is the benefit offered to the sentient beings. To you, the Buddha make prostrations. Okay, so let's read this once more. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you, the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I chant the matter full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. The essence of the Dependent Origin Mantra, and just see, for example, for me personally, reciting this mantra gives me such joy. Not because that it gives, it brings about the miracle. The real miracle is where you recite this conviction, the law of cause and effect. Of cause and effect. Finally, whether this or not, it's not the case. It's about you have to do the virtues if you want happiness. And finally, whether it's bliss or not, you have to stop the negativities if you don't want the miseries. This is cause and effect because your conviction. Really your conviction in the law of karma. So that is what is, and of course, even that is also dependent originated. It's not that once you feel that this is good, and then, okay, I'm very happy with this. No, you have to do it over and over again. so that we have stamina builds, stamina. For example, okay, this I will discuss in the main class because there's some missing. And that is very important about the stamina part to the journey, to undertake the journey, a journey which takes a long time. You require stamina. A short distance, you require the speed. Long journey, you require stamina. So for the stamina, you need to build up the stamina. It's like the fuel. You need to have enormous fuel. So this fuel is these wisdoms that we built, we continue to contemplate on day by day, day by day, day by day. Then the stamina, this energy will be built up. That energy built up is known as the stamina. So that is required for undertaking the journey to enlightenment. Otherwise, some people in my life, I've seen some, they come to the Dharma, within a short span of time, they'll just blaze like the bonfire. And then we get a feeling that, wow, that's amazing. This person just within 2, 3, 4, 5 years time, they'll really shine, suddenly disappear for good. Otherwise, the amount of effort that they put and the productivity is just mesmerizing productivity. Some people, they're so meticulous. They learn these, which otherwise will take long period of time for them, within just few months. They grow so fast. And then the stamina is missing, disappear in the middle, and then disappear for good. Very sad. It's not a mistake. It's a problem of lacking the merit, the stamina of the merit. Merit is lacking. So therefore and this stamina is building the merit, gets met continuously. For example, the boxers, you notice that? Some boxers initially they're so energetic, so agile body, and some they're very smart, they will let the other person's stamina disappear. Let the other person hit you. You stop, and from this energy stops, the other person's energy drops, and then you head back, finish, knockout. So this is what happens in the Dharma practice also, which needs stamina. For that matter, all these things, what we're doing day by day, we are all of us, particularly I would say the Westerners, they should be feeling so happy or feeling so meritorious. There are so many Tibetans here. If you look at the Tibetans, because I'm Tibetan, it may not sound too nice, but if you look at the Tibetans, we see that there's a consistency there. Consistency in Dharma, always being very consistent. So almost like the 24 hours is designed in accumulating merit. This is something so unique. And it's not that, they're from a very special category of the sentient beings. No, it's about where you're born. So therefore, they say even I can see some of the Westerners, for example, Jimbala, I remember him telling me that the Yuan, no, Yuan. So if Yuan said it, Yuan and the Karo, two of them, when they drove us on the way, they said that this time we are very fortunate. And even in his opening speech, Yuan also said it, we are very fortunate this time we have many Tibetans. So this is where we learn how, with respect to Dharma, with respect to the well-being of this life, the future life, till Buddhahood, Gade Bara Samade Bore Soha. And I would say particularly Tibetans of this particular era, generally, not all, generally this era, this time, because of His Holiness. So His Holiness is, so the Tibetans, they were even taught not to even the ordinary Tibetans. Of course, if you're fully into Dharma, that's a different story. Even the ordinary Tibetans, that His Holiness taught not to feel angry towards the common Chinese. Common Chinese. So therefore, we don't have to go for independence. So, and then if the Tibetan, majority of the Tibetans, if they see somebody at another Tibetan seeking independence, they will turn against them. They'll turn against them. Otherwise, who will say, if you want a big cave, this is best. Being trained by His Holiness. So this is something which I'm saying that for example, like now, like these mantras, constantly recite this, contemplate meanings, and they make a commitment in the mind that henceforth, no matter what, I want mangoes, I'll plant mango seeds, not the bitter gourd seeds. It seems like bitter gourd is very bad. It's not bad. So I felt this better would be say, if I like to enjoy mangoes, don't plant the poisonous seed, plant the sweet mango seed. So this is the concept. At any cost, I should do virtues. At any cost, I should stay away from harming others. I should stay away from non-virtues. This should be the conviction that we should build by reciting this mantra every day. Okay. For example, like His Eminence Kandin Rinpoche, 102nd one, which I mentioned yesterday, I think. The one who really has really manifested the high level of realizations, where the food, it doesn't matter. He eats it and somebody says, sir, the food, there's too much of salt. He said, I didn't notice. We'll taste again. So for him, just like a dog meeting with the meat, it doesn't happen. Fully controlled. So these are the kind of training. So these happen through this practice, constant practice. Then even in future lifetimes, you are born very different. As a little girl, little boy, you are born very different. As somebody who's very calm, gentle, controlled. So this is what we are. And then we can think of Gade Para, somebody Bodhisattva. So with these, then when you practice Bodhicitta can manifest very quickly. We will meditate on emptiness, you will manifest experience-wise. Knowledge-wise is the manufactures, how you learn, your level of the IQ from your past life. So all this come together, but experience-wise, it can be so fast. Simply because you understand the emptiness comes very quickly. Doesn't mean that experience will come to you very quickly. It doesn't mean that. For the experience to come, there should be multiple factors required to get that. Okay, we'll say this together. The essence of dependent origin mantra. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye svaha. Meaning of the dependent origin mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. Whatever is the cessation of these causes is taught thus by the great seer. profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-lighted, and non-composite. Such is the nectar that Dharma have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I return to the woods. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. It is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, I pay obeisance. The four C's of the Buddhist teachings. All composite things are impermanent, all contaminated things are the nature of suffering, all phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness, transient sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dhamma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings from miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions eons. The Buddha does not wash away the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries with his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. Instructions on parting from the four attachments. If attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered miseries gloom. Having generated the mind of supreme enlightenment, I invite all sentient beings as my guests are engaged in the appealing these accidents of enlightenment, may become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Page 15, Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the Tathagata, the full destroyer, the completely perfected, full awakened being, perfect in knowledge and good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme God of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subdued from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you pace our seven strides, then said, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom motion like a golden mountain, a fame that blazes in the three worlds, one of the best, Lord, to you I prostrate. But a supreme science face like a spotless moon, color like gold to I prostrate. Trustfree like you, the three worlds are not, incompatible wise one to you prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, the field of merit with qualities like a vast ocean, to you the Tathagata prostrate. The purity that frees from attachment, the virtue that frees from the lower realms, the one part, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, wholly feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. I prostrate to the Buddha, the chief of bipeds. I prostrate to the Dhamma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the supreme one. To all three I always prostrate with reverence. With extreme devotion do I always prostrate to all who are worthy of prostrations, through surrendering my body's numbering particles that constitute all realms. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is addiction to the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, the flammable lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream of flashing lightning, a cloud, see conditioned things as such. Through this madness may sentient beings attain their state of omniscience, subdue the four falls, and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness, and death. Okay, page 30, page 31, the Heart Sutra. The Perfection of Wisdom Sutra. I prostrate to the irretrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time the Buddha was riding on the master of Bodhisattva's mountain Rajgriha, together with a great community of monks and a great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of all phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom, and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice activity with profound professional wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or lot of the lineage who wishes to practice activity with profound professional wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, empty is a form, empty is not other than form, form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composition factors, and consciousness empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object or touch, no phenomenon, including no mental element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death, and no extinction of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in different times also manifestly completely awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurpassed mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering should be known as truth, since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared: Yata Om Gade Gade Bara Gade Bara Samgade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, should train the profound professional wisdom like that. And the Buddha arose from that concentration, commanded the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage, it is like that, it is like that. One should practice a profound professional wisdom just as you've indicated, even that the Tathagatas rejoice. Buddha having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. This completes the Arya Bhagavati Prasthaparamita Hridaya Sutra. Okay, so as we recite this mantra, it's Tatyata. Tatyata, in Tibetan we read it as Tyata. And Gade Gade is Gade Gade Para Gade Para Samgade Bodhi Soha. In a loose translation is go beyond, go utterly beyond, and establish your full awakening. So there are 5 points: go beyond, go utterly beyond, and establish your full awakening. So these 5 indicate the 5 paths to enlightenment. What are they? That I know. So what are the 5 paths? Okay, so in Tibetan, in English, path of accumulation, path of preparation, path of seeing, path of meditation, path of no more learning. Okay, so as we said, yes, in the actual context, we have to grow. We have to keep growing. Gade first, general bodhicitta, gade. So next gade, bodhicitta, with the experiential understanding of emptiness, and understanding the wisdom of emptiness that we taught about the 3 levels of the wisdom. Wisdom draws through meditation. We have to reach that level. Second gade. Paragade, see emptiness directly. Part of seeing, see emptiness directly. Then the part of meditation, repeat, the part of meditation meaning repeating the wisdom, the direct realization of emptiness, repeat it over and over again, so that the cleansing will keep happening. For example, is anybody who had the experience of tuberculosis? Okay, 1, 2, myself 3, Okay. Only three. Okay. So only those having tuberculosis, those who had tuberculosis, they have the experience. So the medicines, how long do we have to take it? So let's say, okay, so those who do not have that experience, you also listen to this, saying the doctor says, hey, you are suffering from tuberculosis. Yes, it happened to me. That years ago, I think about like how many years? 15, 16, 17 years ago. So I had this left side ribs, the pain on the left side, the left ribs for like 3 days consistently. And then one of my relatives said that you must consult a doctor. And the doctor did the diagnosis and diagnosed tuberculosis. So okay, now let's say the doctor said that, say you are the one. And the doctor tells you that you have to take the medicines. If you take the medicines, tuberculosis will be over. And the next day you take the first dose of the medicine. On the second day, tuberculosis is still there. So you go to the doctor. I said that, doctor, you said that my tuberculosis will be over if I take the medicine. I took the medicine. Tuberculosis is still there. So what would you say? Huh? It's not long enough. For how long? Why long? Why long? So they say, huh? That's amazing. Huh? Okay, let's say to sweep this hall, you have to broom it. You have to sweep it. And just sweep this side, sweep. Yes, I sweep the room. Yes, no. Which means you have to do it over and over again, because dirt is not only on a small spot, it's everywhere. So you have to keep sweeping from all sides. Likewise, the defilements, the tuberculosis bacteria, this is enormous. So the first dose will remove small part, second dose will remove its own part. So this is how we have to be very consistently doing this. So gate para samgate. Parasamgate means you see emptiness directly. So that is a remedy to remove the mental defilements. So you keep doing it, and then the more and more defilements will be removed. This is how it is. So then finally, when it is removed completely, then Bodhiswaha. This is your full awakening happens. Okay, this is the actual understanding. And in our own practical life, as we recite this, we have to think that, okay, am I becoming better? Am I becoming better from what I was 10 years ago, what I was 5 years ago? Am I becoming better? This is what we have to check. So the Gade means go from the state of ignorance to the light. Go from the state of selfishness to the other cherishing compassion. So is it really happening within me? You have to check it. So my knowledge, is it growing? My contemplation, is it growing? My meditation, is it growing? My compassion, is it growing? You have to check it. So when you recite this, that will truly help us, rather than expecting, say like some blessings in the form of Buddhas coming in the air, then in the sky, and then throwing some nectars. This is just our visualization. The real thing is check if you're growing in these qualities. And then this is what Kusala yesterday said, is a reminder to check whether I'm growing in these. For example, like 10 years ago, I was really very restless and really short-tempered and impatient. Now am I becoming more patient? So the 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I'm a little stingy. I couldn't really spend even, some offerings, some donations. When the moment, hey, some donation for the, Red Cross, somebody who's serving in this place, that place, and so forth. And then just observe how the mind reacts. Okay, 5 euros, okay. 10 euros, okay. 100 euros, no. 1,000 euros, no way, are you crazy? So look, this is how they just observe your mind, how the mind reacts. And then after 10 years, now 50 euros is easy for the charities. It's very easy. 100 euros is very easy. But when you see a purpose, even 1,000 euros is also very easy. In fact, Ajala was sharing that non-Buddhist people, non-Buddhist, during the COVID time, non-Buddhist people, they was even selling their cars, selling their own property, things to donate, to make the vaccines available to save lives. This is amazing, so precious. So now it's not about who is doing it. Can you do that? Earlier, if you can do only just like 10 euros, not more. Now 15 euros. It is happening for charity. Just check that if that is happening. If that is happening, rejoice. Even if somebody else is like donating thousands of the millions of euros, if you cannot do that, but if you improve from 10 to 15, even there's a big success. Progress counts. Progress is important. So therefore, this is when gade para means just check whether there's a progress in your mental continuum. Compassion, progress in compassion, progress in patience, progress in the wisdom, progress in love for knowledge, progress to run away from the alcohol, progress to run away from the gambling, indulgence, and so forth. Just if there's a progress, this is so precious. This is the real blessing of the Buddhas. Okay, so let's recite this 7 times together. Teata om gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha teata om gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha tyata 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 om gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha. By the teachings of 3 supreme jewels possessing power of truth, may inner and outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may all substance and perfect happiness pervade this place now. 8 verses for train the mind by Geshe Lharampa Degree. with the determination to achieve the highest aim for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wishful function, may I hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as the lowest amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectfully hold others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind, and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are rare to find, as if I have discovered a jeweled treasure. When others, out of jealousy, treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, may I take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I have held or in whom I have placed great hopes mistreats me in extreme hurtful ways, may I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the 8 mundane concerns, and may I recognize all things as illusions, devoid of clinging release from bondage. From Lama Tsongkhapa's Lamrim Dergishim verse, prayer verse 1. From our 2 collections, fastest space that have amassed, from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-leading Buddha for all those whose minds were blinded by ignorance. Okay, page 39, 7 in practice. Page 39, 7 in practice, except from the King of Prayers, extraordinary aspiration of the practice of Samadhi. I bow down to the youth for Arhamanjushri. You, the Buddhas, the lions amongst humans, God of freedom in the present, past, and future, in the world's 10 directions. To all of you with bodies, vision, sincere mind, I bow down. With the energy or aspiration for the Bodhisattva way, with a sense of deep respect, and with as many bodies as atoms of the world, to all you Buddhas visualized as real, I bow down. On every particle of Buddha, numbered as particles, each of them is a host of Bodhisattvas, and I am confident the sphere of all phenomena is entirely filled with the Buddhas in this way. With the infinite oceans of praise for you, and oceans of sound from the depths of my voice, I sing the breathtaking excellence of Buddhas and celebrate all of you Sugathas. Beautiful flowers in regal gardens, sweet music, scented walls and pedestals, sparkling lights and sublime incense are offered to victorious ones of Buddhas. Fine dress and fragrant perfumes, sandalwood powder heaped high as Mount Miro, all wondrous offerings and spectacular array offered to victorious ones. By transcendental offerings, pious and vast, with a profound admiration for all the Buddhas, with strength of conviction in the Bodhisattva way, offer and bow down to all victorious ones. Every harmful action I've done with my body, speech, and mind, overwhelmed by attachment, anger, and ignorance, all these are openly laid bare before you. I lift my heart and rejoice in all the merit of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in 10 directions, also to realizers here still training, and those beyond and of ordinary beings. You who are the bright lights of the worlds in 10 directions, who have attained the Buddha's omniscience through the stages of awakening, all you who are my guides, please turn the Supreme Buddha of Dharma. With palms together, I earnestly request who you may actualize parinirvana. Please stay with us for eons, numberless as atoms of the world, for the happiness and the well-being of all wanderers in samsara. Whatever slight merit I may have accumulated by making prostrations, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting that the Buddha stay and teach, I now dedicate all this for the full awakening of all beings. Short model offering. This ground, adorned with perfumes, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha filled and over it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. O Sajibe Geshe shendo me de buvaye 조근남다 신라 쳔바라쇼. The four dhammas of Venerable Geshe may I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practice is also on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The four dhammas of Venerable Geshe Mahasattva. Okay, so I'm quickly going to explain the four dhammas of Venerable Geshe. It says that may I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. So the fact that we are all here are the mind is towards the Dharma. And there's a tendency where people meet with the Dharma. Still, your mind is okay. Dharma is just one part. But this is what I have to do. So the mind may not be interested in Dharma. So Dharma meaning a system to take you to a destination where all your painful experience, painful tears will stop and your ease will expand to infinity. This is the Dharma. And then sometimes people, they are not interested in this. In the very short term, which will actually bring more pains. This is very sad. So the wise people, they feel connected with the Dharma. Wise and the meritorious people. Then the second, may I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. So when you translate from the Tibetan into English, this needs a little bit of is more literal translation. It requires a little bit of the translation modification. So the meaning is that so which means that my Dharma practice does not meet with the obstacles. This is point, rather than proper path. Proper path should be more in the third one. It does meaning, for example, like you become sick. In pursuit of the Dharma practice, you become sick. For example, somebody be already signed up for this retreat, and then the last minute something happened and could not come. Or let's say there's somebody planned for the audience with this Holiness. Already you did the visa application, the flight ticket, job, the leave, and so forth. And the last minute something happens, you cannot go. So these are the obstacles. So may I be blessed that my Dharma practices on the proper path, meaning doesn't meet with obstacles. This is the meaning. Then they say your mind is in the Dharma. Say, for example, say anybody, including Tibetans, non-Tibetans, whatever. So you, for example, many of us say that you see His Holiness and then you feel attracted. So that is your mind is directed to the Dharma, and then you started to put more effort in this direction, and you don't meet with the illness or some obstacles. But that's also good that you're blessed by that the Dharma practice is without obstacles. Then His Holiness says study the Dharma, study Dharma, and then you go research where to study Dharma, and you see that okay, all the teachings of the great Nanda Masters available. And it's not just Tibet House. There are many other institutions who are conducting very good programs. So you engage in these programs. Being very systematic, and then you're growing. And then the people around, you meet with some people, they said, okay, who's your root guru? And then you're confused. What means a root guru? You don't have a root guru. Why they come to you? Because they know that you are studies are growing. You're getting it? When a study is not growing, nobody will come. When your study is not there, you're not anybody. When you are not somebody, nobody comes. When you become somebody, which means your knowledge is growing well. Your people are then their attention is pulled towards you. And people say, who is your guru? All this, then the problems are. And what practice do you do? How long do you chant? How long do you meditate? Do you sit for any retreat? What kind of empowerment you receive? And you go, oh, wow, there's so many things which I didn't know. Oh, it's necessary. Yes, necessary. And I've read Guru this, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Then empowerment. Yeah, this is important, so important. So many lifetimes you have never met with this empowerment. You don't have this. This is very sad. Then you go in this direction, whatever you disappear from the growth. This is the may be blessed that the path is free of flaws. You can meet with the flawed paths. Very dangerous. So there are some people who I really, really appreciate. Say, meet with His Holiness. Then His Holiness gives a broad roadmap. Just follow that, no matter who pulls you. Okay, give a damn. Just follow what is His Holiness, the roadmap given by His Holiness. Just follow that, then shine. These people shine. So this is what I'm saying. This is number 3. May be blessed that the path is free of flaws. So Bodhisattva they will give the warning that you are bound to meet with the many wrong paths, which are so appealing. They are so appealing. At the end of the day, there's no, and you can go down actually. It's very sad. And then you end up into chauvinism. Oh, my guru, our tradition, you're from this tradition. Or you're Gilog, you're Nyingma, you're Sakya. This is injecting poison in you. There should be, at the time Buddha, there's no Sakya, Nyingma, Gilog, Kagyu. There's nothing of this sort. So you're being injected by these poisons. And in some centers, they said that there's one teacher there, I'm not going to say whether Tibetan or non-Tibetan. So that he himself was beginner and running a big center, and said that okay, so I belong to this tradition, and then okay, his students, okay, if you want to learn from any tradition, it's fine, but when it comes to empowerment, you stick to your own tradition. This is chauvinism. This chauvinism, this sectarianism. It doesn't matter. At the time Buddha, finally, who's the source of all these teachings? He never said that don't go to this, don't go to that. And within him, okay, this for you, this for you. No, there's no distinction. Now the disciples, they're making the distinctions. This way we're going wrong. So this teaching of Geshe Lharampa Degree is so precious for us. Remember that. Okay, let's read this once more. The 4 Dharmas of Venerable Geshe may be blessed that my mind is directed to lose the Dharma. May be blessed that my Dharma practice on the proper path. May be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. 4 Dharmas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasabha. This is the 4 things which encompass the whole of the Dharma. So if you really want to follow the Buddha Dharma in a complete form, then the 4 points are indicated here. You can go anywhere, Theravada Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, Tibetan Buddhism, go to Sakya, Nyingma, Kagyu. It doesn't matter. You go anywhere, you see that the standard teachers, all these traditions, they make sure that these 4 points are intact there. Okay. Becoming utterly frustrated with ignorance that grasps at the true existence, please bless me with genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as vicious and repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to have an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality or a basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Radna Mendela Gamne Rati Amin. The next foundation of all good qualities, Lama Tsongkhapa, the road map to enlightenment. The foundation of all good qualities is the kindest and perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to them is the root of the path. By clearly seeing this and applying great effort, please best rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the present freedom of this birth is found only once, is greatly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please best generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly decades and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, there is also virtuous and non-virtuous comments for them. Finding firm and definite conviction in this, please best always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity, and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Samsaric splendors are unsatisfying and unreliable. Total suffering, recognizing these shortcomings, please best meditate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, alertness, great question arise. The root of their teaching is keeping the pratimosha vows. Please best accomplish this essential practice. Just as I fall into the sea of samsara, so fall among the migrated beings. Please best see this train in supreme bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop bodhicitta, but I don't practice the 3 types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I pacify distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyze the meaning of reality, please bless me to gentle cope with my mind's reign, the unified path of karma abiding special insight. Having become a pure vessel by training the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gate with the fortunate ones, the supreme Vajra vehicle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the 2 attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and bless the Lama life. Then, having realized the importance of the 2 stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, please bless my reactions to the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Guru so show the noble path, and especially friends who practice their long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages of the paths, may could attain the state of Vajratara. Mixing my verse in English first, or the translation. You are a Vedaguteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, teacher of hosts of demons without exception, Songkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land who snows, Losanta by at your feet. Menu of make some more verse once more. You are Avalokiteshvara, great rush of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, teacher of hosts the demons without exception, Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land who snows, lost on top by 8 of feet and make prostrations. Okay, next generating the mind of consummate yoga with 4 points. First, shamatha, next renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, and finally, taking the expression bodhisattva vow. Okay, ready? 5 minutes. Okay, next. Renunciation. Ready? Renunciation is to renounce the miseries. To renounce the miseries, the Buddha taught, first when you identify the causes of the miseries, only by stopping the causes of the miseries can be expected to be stopped. So for that method, Buddha taught, Ye dharma hedu prabhava, hetum desham tathagato yevadat. And the Buddha identified the root of the miseries lies in the ignorance, which when the Buddha indicated that Ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham tathagato yevadat, the causes of the miseries are taught by the Tathagata. And what are the causes taught? Adi Nagarjuna summarized what the Buddha taught in the form of one verse. Ceasing karmas afflictions is nirvana. Karmas afflictions arise from conceptualization of inappropriate attention, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance, thereby identifying four causes: contaminating karmas afflictions, inappropriate attention, and self-grasping ignorance, and the root of which is self-grasping ignorance. But to get to that level of the understanding that the root is self-grasping, we need to see the grosser levels of the ignorance as well. Ignorance which misconceives impermanent phenomena as permanent, ignorance which misconceives miseries as happiness, and ignorance which misconceives impure things as pure, and finally ignorance which misconceives what is selfless nature as of selfhood. To accommodate these four, the Buddha taught the first three seals, and the fourth one in the form of the resultant experience of the result of the practice of the first three seals. All composite things impermanent, things which are composed of material parts and temporal parts, should necessarily be impermanent nature. And impermanence is of two kinds: gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence marked by an impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates. For example, the beautiful days that you had as a little boy or little girl with your parents, all the siblings together, and now this is gone. 200 years ago, 300 years ago, 400 years ago, this world was inhabited by a very different generation, our ancestors. They were beings of your age, older than you, younger than you, and the children having so much expectations of their life, thinking about settling themselves with careers, ambitions, and so forth. And the parents likewise having expectations from their children, what the children should become. Nowhere there. Whether the ambitions of the career, whether they're fulfilled or not fulfilled, they're all gone. And do you remember your ancestors? No idea. Once upon a time, this world was inhabited by them, but now we don't even have a clue of who they were. This impermanence. Very powerful people over there, very extreme youthful people are there, and wealthy people are there. Where are they now? They're all gone. It's not that we are fortunate, that they are very unfortunate. No, it's a matter of time. Within a span of 50 years, most likely half of us here will be gone. Within a span of 80 years, most likely, except for one or two. Except for one, that two very unlikely can survive. Within 200 years, nobody will be alive then. All the 8 billion human beings will all disappear. This is a fact. It's because of this that the Buddha taught, whatever gathers ends in separation. Whatever is accumulated ends in exhaustion. Youth is followed by old age. Good health is followed by ill health. Birth ends in death. This is reality. This is what the Buddha taught. The Buddha discovered it. And contemplating these helps us prepare our journey forward. They're so precious. Contemplating on the impermanence of one's own death, that's also very important. And this impermanence, gross impermanence, should necessarily be marked, but it changes. Impermanence has a connotation in change, and what you see as a very gross impermanence is marked by the subtle impermanence, momentariness. All composite phenomena should necessarily be undergoing the momentary changes. Changes you see within the span of 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of your own body. Once upon a time, your body, even the skin, they're so tender. Now, it's no more tender. Once upon a time, your body is so flexible. Now the flexibility is all gone. This is impermanence. And this impermanence happens not overnight. It had been happening every year, every month, every day, every hour, every minute, every second, every millisecond. The change that you see within a span, the change that exists within a span of the days is something which we cannot see so obviously. Only when you switch to the next day, then you see the change. But the change that you see within a span of the milliseconds is so obvious. Press your timer and press your stopwatch and see how the dishes move. This is how our body is moving, how our body is changing, how the place where you are staying changes. Your parents, your children, everyone is changed so fast. This is reality. Seeing this change, it gives a sense of urgency, sense of fear. Imagine a stranger picks you up and throws you in a very fast-moving train. Yes, the faster the train moves, the more the fear. Why? Because we don't know where this train is taking us. If the train, who decides where this train is taking us? The train driver. If the train driver is your mom and your dad, no doubt will take you to pick the spot. But unfortunately, if the train driver is the terrorist, or under the dictate of the terrorist, will only take us to a slaughterhouse. In our case, the driver is a mind. Where is the mind taking us? The mind per se is very neutral, but the true nature of mind manifests is so virtuous. But unfortunately, at the moment, our mind is under the dictate of the worst of the terrorists, worst of the contaminations, which is self-grasping ignorance. Where we are under the dictate of the self-grasping ignorance, contaminations will only take us to miseries. This is what the Buddha indicated as the second seal. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Suffering like what? Suffering. The evident, manifest, immediate pains. So acute, painful. We can't tolerate these tragedies. Suffering change, the vicious bait to trap us, stopping us, blinding us from seeing the uncontaminated happiness, where all the side effects of the contaminated happiness are gone. Yet, this suffering change, this contaminated happiness, it blocks us from experiencing this uncontaminated happiness. So it's so kind of meanwhile it drags us into suffering. And finally, the pervasive conditioned suffering, the mastermind of all these two sufferings, is the mastermind. This is the most vicious. The most evolved beings will see that this is the mastermind is the worst of all the suffering, and the less evolved beings like us, we see the suffering as the imminent and the most painful suffering. But although we are immature at the moment, we have to grow continuously to see, eventually be able to see that not only suffering, not only suffering change, the pervasive condition suffering is the worst. This is what Acharya Dharmakirti in his text, Pramanavartika, said, that when the Buddha taught the truth of suffering is to identify, the Buddha meant the third, the pervasive condition suffering. This is where we have to evolve. Yes, this suffering is so painful. One moment of such a pain, tragedy is good enough to just let us feel the whole of the experiences of merriments, festivities, birthday parties, and so forth are so hollow and meaningless, so acute, painful. Is there a way out? 2024 stopped on its own, likewise 2025 stopped on its own. When will these pains stop? So, while the impermanent phenomena is classified into two, there's also another way of classifying the impermanent phenomena into three. Impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates invariably, like 2004, 2024, 25, and so forth. And there's a second class of impermanent phenomena whose continuum never terminates, like your mind or the time and so forth. There's a third class of impermanent phenomena whose continuum terminates only through conscious effort, otherwise will perpetuate. And our miseries fall into this category. Okay, now understand it. So however painful the experiences are, there's a solution. Yes, there's a solution. What's the solution? First, to do for the solution, we have to identify the root of the miseries and stop the root, so the misery will stop. Only when the fuel is removed, then the fire stops. So, how to stop that, the fuel of the miseries? Is the self-grasping, the root of which is self-grasping ignorance. To counteract that, we require the wisdom of emptiness. What is the wisdom of emptiness? Wisdom, by the very definition, is a discerning mind who has apprehension of the object tallies with the reality. And what's the reality? The reality is what the Buddha indicated as the third seal. Everything is nature, emptiness, selflessness. Okay, let's quickly meditate on emptiness of these today. Emptiness of the. Okay, let's say emptiness. Okay, emptiness of the self, yourself. Just follow instructions. Okay, what are you doing? I'm meditating. And what is your body doing? My body is in meditative posture. And how does this person who identifies I appear to you? Like a dream? Or, no, nothing to do with my mind, nothing with the dream. It's pure, it's so objectified, so well-defined, and solidified, objectified there. Okay. So the belief that this exists is objectively real, that is this self-grasping ignorance. And how do you know that this ignorance is not valid mind? For this, remember what Aranyagārjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? With a similar token reasoning, if the self, who identifies I, to exist objectively, why don't I see the self as a conclusive object? Conclusive object, this is technically known as ultimate analysis. Subjecting this of the ultimate analysis, we end up seeing a very thin layer of the skin, behind that the fatty tissues, behind that the whole skeleton, the heart, the lungs, the liver, and so forth. And these form the element of earth. And element of earth, is this the self? No, no way. Next element of water, 4 liters of blood which is pumped in and out by the heart to different parts of the body. Of course, that is not element of fire, 2,700 joules of energy of your body. Of course, that is in short the body temperature or the body heat. That's also not me. Element of air, 4.6 liters of air that you breathe in and out through your lungs. Of course, that is not me. Element of space, 99% of body is space. Body is nothing but made of atoms. And the atoms, the space between the nucleus, which constitutes the protons and neutrons, and the electrons, the space between these two is way, way, way more expansive in comparison with the space occupied by the elemental particles. So we're essentially vacuum. But I'm not a vacuum. I'm a solid person. The space, therefore the space is all element space, also not me. What is left now? Element of consciousness or the element of mind? And even this element of mind is also not me in the eyes of ultimate analysis. I'm a male, I'm a female, I'm not male, I'm not female. This gender is based on the body, and mind. This mind does not gender because the gender is purely based on the body. So therefore, even this mind is also not me. And also that people can see me from distance, but people cannot see my mind. So even the element of mind, the element of consciousness is also not me. Okay, now what is left? I'm just seeing the 6 elements. Which of the 6 elements is this self? You earlier saw object real. None of them. If none of them were good, remove the 6 elements to see if the self exists as object real, as different from the 6 elements. Remove the 6 elements. What is left now? Nothing is left there. Where is the self? Nowhere to be seen. Stay in this experience for a while where the self is discovered to be empty of object reality. It disappears. Now slowly switch your mind from ultimate analysis to the conventional analysis by imagining that you are getting up, coming out of the meditation. Doing so, again self comes back, which means objectivity is empty, but subjectivity to the mind, subjectivity appears, so that it's purely like an illusion. Stay in this experience for a while, where the self appears, but empty of object reality, like an illusion. It's not really there, but it appears. This is the illusional nature of the self. Stay in this experience for a while. Then go back to this ultimate analysis where the self is discovered to be empty of objective reality. Stay in this experience for a while. This is amazing, amazing, profound. But what's the benefit of this practice? Yes, just the self dissolves, subject to all your miseries, all your sorrows, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, anxiety, anguish, and so forth. Subject all of these states of the sorrows into the ultimate analysis. We see that just as self disappears in the eyes of the ultimate analysis, all these sorrows also transcend, also disappear. Oh, that's amazing. All my sorrows are transcended, and extremely profound peace dawns in me. Very reliable peace dawns, absolute peace dawns in me. This is what the Buddha indicated as a fourth seal. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. That is nirvana. And the full-fledged version of this is Buddhahood. We can stay in this experience of the emptiness, where all your sorrows are transcended, generate a very strong feeling, aspiration. May I forever experience emptiness, forever remain in the experience of emptiness, where all my sorrows are transcended, where the absolute peace dawns in me. Stay in this experience for a while. Okay, this is renunciation. This aspiration is renunciation. Okay, now we'll slowly switch to the Bodhicitta. Ready? Okay, so whatever practice we're doing, just see if you can do it in your own place after the retreats. In your own place, see if you can do it there on your own. So as I said earlier, the morning practice is not just it's not a ritual as a part of a retreat. It's not necessary. Not necessary. But why we are doing this is for people to learn how to design your daily practice so that, like taking the medication, the medicines, the dose of medicine every day consistently, to see that eventually your illness disappears. Likewise, we practice on a daily basis, and gradually say your mind becomes happier, happier, and happier. This is in mark of indication. And then this mark of the indication of you are following this trend. Are you ready? Bodhicitta practice requires the incredible great support of the Triple Gem, which has all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas in the space in front of us, the soul loving, caring, embracing. Likewise, visualize your two parents, your children, and all their mother sentient beings with you, living that side, human beings, animals, insects, God and okay, we do the Bodhicitta practice. Ideally speaking, the Bodhicitta practice involves two methods. And since that we have not done the two methods, and also that in group, the time management is an issue, so therefore we do that based on the four immeasurables to be concluded by the Bodhicitta aspiration building. Okay, first, immeasurable loving kindness. Here, just try to invoke the experience to do the best you can, and at times, these practices may not resonate with your natural thinking of the mind. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Our job is just to flow with this and gradually become real. Okay, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness? Cause of happiness primarily consisting of the most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta, which wishes to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, and the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness, which does not fear anything. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. The Buddhas of Bodhisattvas is like the mother after all these many years of raising her children. And today the eldest daughter is just aged 12 and the eldest son aged 11, two of you. Go to the mother, tell the mother, Mom, please take rest. You have done everything for us. We know how much you love us. And now we're grown up. We'll take care of all the siblings. And this is exactly what how proud, how happy the mother feels. It's exactly what all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel today. And this joy and happiness Buddhas and Bodhisattvas feel invoke their compassionate minds to send forth nectar as a soothing light towards you and all the mother sentient beings. The mere touch of light and nectar for the bodies of beings yours instills in all happiness and the cause of happiness within the mind stream of you and all the mother sentient beings. And you witness such a miracle is happening to all of the mother sentient beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Causes of suffering like contaminant karmas, afflictions, inappropriate tension, self-grasping, ignorance, and complemented by the self-centered attitude. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas witnessing that we make such a courageous commitment, the intense happiness and proud of you. This proud and happiness invoke the compassionate minds to send forth nectars of soothing lights towards you and all the mother sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and the nectars with the body beings yours washes of all the miseries and causes miseries from the dear Mother Ascension means yourself. And you witnessing such miracles having told dear Mother Ascension makes you intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Next, immeasurable joy. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Ascension beings are never separated from happiness and the causeless happiness that they endowed with. May all my dear Mother Ascension beings never be separated from happiness and the causeless happiness that they endowed with. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Ascension beings are never separated from happiness and the causeless happiness that they endowed with. And you and the Buddhist Bodhisattvas witnessing they make such courage, commitment, intense happiness and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion mind to send forth nectars of soothing lights towards you and all the Mother Ascension beings. Their mere touch with lights and nectars of the Bodhist beings yours stabilizes the happiness and the cause of happiness the beings are endowed with. And you witnessing such miracles happening to all the Mother Ascension beings. You're intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, some with relief. Next, immeasurable equanimity. How good would it be that all my dear Mother Ascension beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others, and instead abide in a great state of equanimity, embracing all our dear Mother Ascension with total love and affection and embrace, leaving them aside. May all my dear Mother Ascension beings be freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. I'll take the responsibility that all my dear Mother Ascension beings are freed from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others. The Buddhist Bodhisattvas witnessing that make such courage, commitment, intense happiness and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke the compassion mind to send forth nectars of soothingness towards you and all the Mother Ascension beings. That may touch lights and nectars of the Bodhist beings yours. Frees the beings from the biased attitude of excessive attachment to some and aversion towards others, and instead about making them abide in the great state of the equanimity, embracing all other dear Mother Ascension beings equally, leaving them aside. And you've been witnessing such miracles happening to all of the Mother Ascension beings. You intense happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sigh with relief. Underscore all the formation pulses unconditional love towards all the beings. And this unconditional love, this is the foundation for your Bodhicitta to grow. Bodhicitta, which in turn is the one which gives rise to the flowers of full enlightenment, Buddhahood, to benefit all the dear Mother Ascension beings. With folded hands, we'll make a Bodhicitta commitment 3 times together. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother Ascension beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother Ascension beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear Mother Ascension beings. This is the most beautiful mind that possibly exists in the entire universe. And today you've generated this mind. Slowly transform this mind of the Bodhicitta into a spotlessly clean, Mundgod, horizontally sitting with the heart. Okay, it's amazing that we made such courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. But remember, no matter how much you squeeze for sand, no oil comes out. Yes, I know that. I have a Buddha nature within me. But if this were the case, how come that is not active, is awakened since time immemorial till date? Yes, till date I'm being deceived by the two demons, self-grasping, ignorance, self-centered attitude. Now I see that I'm disillusioned by these two. I'm going to do everything to exterminate these two demons. What are you going to do? I'm going to introduce a very powerful remedy, but it's just the non-dual wisdom of the Arya Bodhisattvas, the ultimate Bodhicitta. What is it like? Okay, let's quickly retrieve the experience of emptiness, which we have practiced as the third of the four seals. What are you doing? I'm meditating. And how does person appear who you identify as I appear to you? Like a dream? The mind is projecting it like illusion? No way. It appears so intrinsically objective, real. And this belief is the self-grasping ignorance, this worst of the contaminations. How do you know that this ignorance is not valid mind? To evaluate this, remember what Arindagarjuna taught. If the mirage were to be water, one of those close by the mirage see water, with a simultaneous raising, if this self who identifies I but exists objectively, why don't let this self I go closer to the object? Okay, now let us go closer to the object, which is known as ultimate analysis. And also an ultimate analysis, what we see, we just see the six elements: element earth, so parts of the self, element earth, element water, element air, element space, element consciousness. Now you are seeing six elements. Where is the self? Which of the six elements is the self? None. Combined together? No. Now, where is the self? Is it different from six elements as object real? If yes, remove six elements. Now tell me, where is the self, which was earlier seen as object real? No way to be seen. Okay, with this strange experience where the self disappears as object reality. Strange experience for a while. Okay, this is the most fearless mind of the wisdom of emptiness. Slowly transform this wisdom of emptiness into a spotlessly clean, thumb-sized white vajra, vertically sitting on a mud disk at heart. Okay, now you have the blaze of non-dual bodhicittas. The moon symbol of conventional bodhicitta to exterminate self-centered attitude, and the vajra symbol of ultimate bodhicitta, the non-dual wisdom of emptiness of Arya Bodhisattvas, to exterminate all the mental defilements, both afflictive and harmful obscurations. Okay, yes, I'm very fortunate, thereby guaranteeing me that all the mental defilements are removed and my Buddha nature becomes manifest fully, and that experience total fearlessness and infinite ease. Yes, you are very lucky. But what about your two parents, your children, all of them, dear sentient beings? Yes, generate very strong compassion to all the beings. This compassion invokes the wisdom of the heart to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, you share one side of the wisdom at the heart of your mother, one side with the heart of your father, one side of each one of your children, each of your family members, each of the beings in Switzerland, in the world, in the oceans, all the trillions of creatures in the ocean, they all get the share of the wisdom from you. And all the trillions of creatures in the wilderness, they get the share of wisdom from you. And in the entire world, in the entire universe, the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. Now, all sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, God, God, spirits, everyone got a share of wisdom from you. It's amazing. Meanwhile, let us also not forget the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They're watching us. why not we invite all the Bodhisattvas to be the witness and the guests who are taking the ceremony of the aspiration Bodhisattva. Just make this request. Let us slowly stand up along with all the other sentient beings to make two prostrations to all Bodhisattvas. Okay, see if you can sit on your right knees. If you have backache problem, knee problem, and so forth, you can sit in the most comfortable position. Otherwise, for the time being, just if you can sit on your right knees to take this from Bodhisattva vow. And today, in a way, today is the closing ceremony of this retreat, and this is very auspicious. The way for this concluding ceremony of this particular retreat. Okay. Imagine that you are a very little girl, age 4, or a little boy, age 4 or 5. I'd imagine that you, for the first time in your life, you are making a public appearance on behalf of the school. I'd imagine your parents, they're so proud of you, and because they love you so much, they're ready to just leave behind whatever they have to do that day, however important things are. They're ready to leave behind to join the audience, waving hands to you, saying that we're here. This is exactly what the Buddhist Bodhisattvas are feeling today. You've invited them, and they're so happy and pleased. And then although we're just such an ordinary person, but the love and affection the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel towards you is so strong that, as you requested, they take it very seriously. They come to be the witness as a guest. Likewise, although you are very young, little boy, but you are a very responsible child, you bring along with you all your siblings to allow them also to take part, as I said, to take part in the performance. This is exactly what you're doing today. You are bringing along with you all the dear mother sentient beings to take part in the ceremony of the spiritual Bodhisattva vow. This is so precious. So with this mind, let us turn to page 49, and let me quickly explain once again, remind you the meaning of the first verse and the last two verses. The first verse says that given that this is the most important journey to awake to attain the full enlightenment, Buddhahood. This is the most important journey, yet we have never undertaken this journey ever before. So we require an incredible great guide, support, and the greatest of the guide and support that we can think of in the universe are the True Gem. So the first line says, I go for refuge in the True Gem. And this journey involves a road, and the road is not other than your own mind. So this road must not be blocked by the boulder, the hidden, the fallen boulders, fallen trees, and so forth. Likewise, the road of the enlightenment should not be blocked by the mental negativities. So how to remove them? And the Buddha taught the confession. So second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Now the road is clear. If the car does not fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. And the car is none other than your own mind. This mind must have the inner fuel of the virtues, that the journey is very smooth and effective to enlightenment for the benefit of yourself and for the benefit of all demons and sentient beings. How to accumulate so much of the fuel of the merit, fuel of the virtues within yourself, which in a short span of time, the Buddha taught the act of rejoicing. So the third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of the beings. Now the road is clear, and the car said, now fuel, what kind of journey I'm going to undertake? The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddha in my heart, the journey of awakening, hidden treasure, where all my painful tears stop and my ease expands to infinity, and where I can share this wisdom of the infinite ease and fearlessness with all the demons and sentient beings. Okay, with this mind, let's recite the first three verses together and imagine that you are leading this practice and all beings are joining us, and all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, as you have requested, they are witnessing. They are there as a witness to our artistic ceremony. I go for refuge to the tubal gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolve the accomplishments of others myself. Having generated the mind of Supreme Enlightenment, I involve all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in appealing to excellence for enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Trubal Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the blessed Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolve the accomplishments of others and myself. Having generated the mind of Supreme Enlightenment, I involve all sentient beings to be my guest, and shall engage in appealing to the excellence of enlightenment, may I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the Trubal Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Supreme Sangha. I generate the mind of Bodhicitta to resolve the accomplishments of others myself. Having generated the mind of Supreme Enlightenment, I involve all sentient beings to be my guests, and shall engage in appealing this excellence and enlightenment. May I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, next two verses. It starts with invoking the blessings of the Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas to be here to you. And the first verse is, in the history of humanity, was there anybody who succeeded in his journey of awakening, the hidden treasure within us? Answer is yes. 2,500 years ago, there was a prince, extremely compassionate, extremely wise prince, Prince Siddhartha. He completed his journey. Now, even after 2,500 years, we see the trillions of infinite beings that benefit by his teachings. Like His Holiness the Dalai, all the Nandi Masters, they are the product of these great teachers' teachings. And how did he succeed in his journey? He succeeded in his journey by creating the two factors. The first factor is by creating very powerful motivation, the motivation Bodhicitta, and having generated very strong determination to become Buddha for the benefit of all demons and sentient beings. The second factor that he introduced was that to materialize this aspiration, he actually engaged in the Bodhisattva practices like 6 perfections and 4 perfections. 6 perfections: generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, and wisdom. And 4 perfections: skillfulness, aspiration, praise, the power, and the primordial wisdom. So he engaged in the practice. He invested everything, his energy, everything on the practice of these 10 perfections. Now, this is how he became fully enlightened. Oh, that's amazing. Great inspiration, great blessing to hear such such a reality. I'll follow his footsteps. I will follow footsteps so diligently. I'll take the Buddha as my role model. I will also create the 2 factors. The first factor, generate a very strong bodhicitta. Second factor, to materialize this aspiration, I'll also engage in the bodhisattva practices like 6 perfections and 4 perfections, make it 10. So this is the second verse. We'll read it 3 times together. And during the third repetition, imagine that you receive the experience Bodhisattva vow and feel the joy. Together, imagine that you're leading this practice and all beings are joining us. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwelled in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices. Feel the joy of having received the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. I repeat these two mantras after me. The first mantra 3 times. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Upadayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Upadayami. Om Sarva Yoga Chitam Upadayami. So the first verse, the first mantra is more like, I'm going to hold the mind, the two minds, the yoga of the two minds in the complete form, the bodhicitta and wisdom emptiness. Okay, second mantra. Om Surede Samayastam Hosida Vajrayada Sukham. Om Surede Samayastam Hosida Vajrayada Sukham. Om Surede Samayastam Hosida Vajrayada Sukham. This the second verse, second mantra is, I take the joy, I take the bliss of having taken the two minds of the bodhicitta wisdom of emptiness. Okay, just feel the joy of having received Bodhisattva vows. So meritorious that we together collectively engage in very powerful virtue. In the presence of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni and His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And today, if His Holiness were to know about, of course His Holiness knows about this, his clairvoyance, and 2013 His Holiness gave a straight away direct advice to me by calling me one early morning 2013 that whenever Tibet House organizes such big programs, you can conduct this taking as in Bodhisattva ceremony. And we are doing this actually, and His Holiness would be so happy. All the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they're extremely happy. Like the way in which, just imagine the mother, your mother, you as a little girl, little boy, in school, the mother always hears the complaint from the school during the teacher parents the meeting. And again, today you see the mother sees the school principal coming to the mother, and the mother is so apprehensive. What kind of complaint today? The school principal said, no, we came here to congratulate you. What for? That your son and the daughter, although they're so young, so little, so small, they appointed, they selected the special students of the school for this year. The mother couldn't believe after all these many years of receiving complaints, today she's hearing something so pleasant. This is exactly what we've done today to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. They feel so proud and happy the way to manage with which the mother feels. And this is what happens. And this join the happiness the Buddhist Bodhisattvas feel over you having taken the experience Bodhisattva vow invokes the Vajramuni at their hearts to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, these replicas Vajramuni from the Buddhist Bodhisattvas descend to merge with the Bandhari visualizer at your heart, thereby becoming non-dual, stabilized, and blessed. Likewise, all the Vajramuni from Buddhist Bodhisattvas, the trillions of Vajramuni, infinite numbers of Vajramuni, like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that visualize the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your children, each one of beings, each one of your family members, each one of the beings here in Switzerland, in the world, in the oceans, in the wilderness, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. Thereby become non-dual, blessed, and stabilized. Amazing. This is so precious. This is so precious. that this is the best gift that you can make to all the Buddhas, to all the dear sentient beings, and today you have done it. And of all the offerings the Buddha declared, one moment of generating compassion far excels the gift of the whole universe filled with gems and offered to Buddhist Bodhisattvas. If this were to be the case for the mention of our having taken the aspiration Bodhisattva today, and today you've made the best of the offerings to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, and from your life, but meaning that what we've done today, you have given such a meaning to life today. And all these three wonders, they're happening because of the blessings of the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. As a gesture of thanking them all, let us stand up along with all the other sentient beings to make true prostration to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas. Okay, please take your seats. Okay, one thing that that we need to know, which I'm going to share with you here, is that finally we see that the greatest of the purpose of life is to awaken hidden treasure, the Buddha nature within us. And for that matter, we need to meet with the Dharma, meet with the Dharma to help us to awaken this. So meeting with the Dharma is very important, number one. And meeting with the Dharma is not that easy. Out of the 8 billion human beings, and Buddha actually treaded this earth, on this earth, and His Holiness Dalai Lama with us. But how many 8 billion out of the 8 billion human beings actually heard about the Buddha, heard about His Holiness? Forget about the Bodhicitta, forget about the wisdom of emptiness. Think of that. It's not that easy to meet with the Dharma. So we have to make sure that we continue. In order for us to continue this journey of awakened hidden treasure, we need to meet with this Dharma in the future lifetimes. Number one is meeting. Then we need to take it seriously. And how do you take it seriously? Only when you find joy in what you're doing, then you become so serious with this practice. So the seriousness, finding joy in this, the practice of bodhicitta with some emptiness. So for that, again, you require a separate effort. The first one is effort to meet with the Buddha Dharma of the bodhicitta with some emptiness. And the second, to take seriously, plunging into it like the way the elephant jumps into the water in the summer. So the two things are required. The first one, we cannot do much. We include and that in the form of very powerful prayer, that may I forever meet with this, never be separated from this teaching. Include that form of very powerful prayer, number one. Number two, to really jump into this with so much joy. It's not just a prayer, but there's the technique taught by Bodhisattva Shantideva and others, and initially by the Buddha, that linking joy with the bodhicitta, linking joy with the wisdom of emptiness, linking joy. So, for example, like how many of you in your life, say after 10 years, 20 years, or 30 years for like my age, like 40 years, 50 years, you smell something and it takes you back in time when you were with your mother, when you were with your father, when you were with the family, How many of that experiences? Like a smell or a sound or the texture of the atmosphere. It takes you back in time. So why? Because, for example, like this particular smell. Oh, I used to smell this when I was a little boy or little girl, when I was with my mom. So the smell and the mom and stuff linked. And when you have the smell, for example, like say, when I okay, let's say, when I pull this leaf, the flower, the stem, everything comes along because they're connected. So likewise, when the say in your next lives, if you connect the joy with the bodhicitta, joy with the wisdom of emptiness, next life you hear the word bodhicitta, instantly you feel connected, you feel the joy is triggered. You hear the word bodhicitta, joy comes. When you hear the word wisdom of emptiness come, you hear the wisdom of emptiness, it's joy comes. With the joy, then you will go after the joy. You will go after the joy, and you will search for the more about bodhicitta. You will search more about the wisdom of emptiness. So these are the two, the tips given to us to make sure that we connect with the dharma of the bodhicitta wisdom of emptiness, and that we take it very seriously. For example, like say, even if you meet with the dharma, doesn't mean that you will take it seriously. For example, let's say the Tibetans. Let's say Tibetans. 99% of Tibetans are already born connected with the Dharma. His Holiness, connect with His Holiness. But when His Holiness gives teachings, so they see His Holiness as a Buddha, and then His Holiness gives teachings. So the first 10 minutes, you think that all these Tibetans will become enlightened. Your Holiness, so serious. And then after 10 minutes, His Holiness is teaching on bodhicitta, He's teaching emptiness. And almost like 90% they are not listening to His Holiness. They're sharing the snacks. And they also just have something. It's kindness, but it's telling others, have. And then not letting others to listen to His Holiness. So which means that you are not too seriously jumping into this. So therefore, to take it very seriously, that's very important. So for that matter, the verse which you read in last, page 50, the last verse, that is to connect with the Dhamma, connect with the bodhicitta wisdom emptiness and with the powerful prayer. Okay, let's say it 3 times together. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even in the cosmic life. Okay, next verses, these are from Bodhisattva Shantideva's text, Guided Bodhisattvas of Life, in order for us to connect joy with the bodhicitta wisdom emptiness. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized an awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha and now one Buddha's children. Thus, whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall it disgrace or pollute this noble and unstudied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes sovereignty of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all wandering and thought on the path of conditioned existence. It is a universal bridge that these of birth is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the mystic ignorance of the world. It is the quintessence butter from the churn of the middle of Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the boundless happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and it shall place them in supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, all be joyful. Okay, now dedication prayer, page 55, dedication. In the land and circle by snow mountains, you are the source of all happiness and good. All powerful generosity, tensing Gyaso, please remain under samsara ends. Just as a brave Panjushya is summoned by the two, realize things as they are. Also, I dedicate all these merits in the best way that I may follow the perfect example. I dedicate all these rules of virtue with the direction praised as the best by all the Buddhas who appear in the free times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva states. I dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the realization that these in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of free times and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the four wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the two stages. Having dispelled all inner and outer obstacles and downfalls, such as poverty, despair, oppression, cruelty, epidemics, and natural disasters, to the environmental degradation, all beings forever enjoy the glory of peace and happiness. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I spend day and night carefully reflecting on what means can enhance this teaching achieved by Supreme Savior through strenuous efforts over countless eons. From our two collections, vast the space that have amassed from working with effort at this practice, may I become the shield-leading Buddha for all those whose minds pessimize the blind of ignorance. Togge tuje shake riso to shenge meto dege bonjamba serge dumbo tabo jebe ko shage yemo kyolo chanselo mone mahamona yeswaha mahamona yeswaha mone mahamona yeswaha mahamona yeswaha mahamona yeswaha mahamona yeswaha. Okay, we'll come back at 9:10. 9:10? 9:10, not 9. Okay, three prostrations together.